To come, but first, Nottingham Forest are plotting a quadruple transfer swoop as they look to bolster their squad ahead of the new Premier League campaign and the Europa League. They've had bids accepted for Amari Hutchinson and James McAtee and have approached Juventus to sign Douglas Luiz and Rennes' Arnold Calimundo. Well, Forest are close to agreeing a deal worth £37.5 million for Ipswich winger Hutchinson. Both they and Brentford had bids rejected by Ipswich earlier in the window, but Forest now seem to have met Ipswich's valuation. Forest have also agreed a £30 million fee for Manchester City midfielder McAtee. The 22-year-old made 15 appearances in the Premier League last season, and we understand the deal includes sell-on and buyback clauses. And they aren't done there. As well as being in talks with Rennes over a deal for the striker Arnold Calimundo, they also want Juventus's Douglas Luiz. Well, the former Aston Villa midfielder has struggled to settle in Turin, and Juve are open to offers. We understand 2 Premier League clubs have bids in for the 27-year-old. Transfer movement at Newcastle. They've agreed a deal to sign Jacob Ramsey from Villa, their opponents on the first weekend of the new season. Well, Ramsey is set to join on a 5-year deal for a fee that could reach £43 million. Well, these exclusive pictures show that Ramsey has arrived on a private jet, landing at Newcastle Airport. He's flying in to have his medical.
Know that Newcastle United have a number of targets that they've missed out on. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's been a bad window. I think the key in this situation is that they move on to other targets that they feel will still make their starting 11 stronger. We know that Eddie Howe likes to recruit players by watching them over a long period of time. Most of the players that he's signed over the course of his Newcastle tenure, 3.5, 4 years now, have been players that he's been aware of for a number of years, like Anthony Gordon. He was watching him when he was a youngster at Everton. The same with Tino Livramento. They watched Bruno Guimaraes for a long period of time as well. Sandro Tonali, that was a deal that took a couple of years to get over the line because they were tracking him, they were keeping in contact with his representatives, and eventually they managed to get that deal completed. And Jacob Ramsey's another one. He's a player that wanted to go to Newcastle, unlike some of the other players that had their head turned by Manchester United. And that's why he's landing in the northeast tonight to undergo a medical after agreeing personal terms and the 2 clubs agreeing that fee. He wants to play for Eddie Howe. So straight away, when you look at the players they have signed, I actually think their starting 11 is stronger now. I know there's a big question mark over Alexander Isak. I know the narrative is it's been a disastrous summer. But when you look at what they've done, I actually think they could be one of the teams to watch this season.
Bournemouth and Brentford have an agreement in principle for winger Dango Ouattara. The deal is worth £42 million, which includes add-ons. The 2 clubs have had intense negotiations over the last 72 hours regarding the 23-year-old, and this evening have come to a full agreement. Well, a medical is due in the next 24 hours. Bournemouth are looking at replacements and have Amin Adeli of Leverkusen as a key target. Now, Roma have had a bid to sign England winger Jadon Sancho on a permanent deal from Manchester United. The bid is understood to be worth around £20 million, and United are considering it. Roma are also keen on Aston Villa's Leon Bailey and Wolves player Fabio Silva. Rasmus Højlund is another United player who could be on his way to Serie A. He's open to a move to AC Milan. Well, talks have taken place between Milan and Højlund's representatives. Milan and United have held positive talks over a transfer, although there is no deal yet. Milan prefer a loan, whilst United wants a permanent deal. Arne has been busy this summer, and 2 more defenders could be on their way in. Mark Guéhi is one of them, but with Liverpool and Crystal Palace so far unable to reach agreement on a fee, is Guéhi likely to see out the final season of his contract at Selhurst Park?
Our player, and unfortunately he was the captain of the team where we lost against last Sunday. So no, if you want to have any talks about him, you should go to Palace, to Glasner, and ask him his opinion about him.
Meanwhile, Liverpool have reached an agreement to sign 18-year-old centre-half Giovanni Leone from Parma. That's for £26 million. Leone now has permission to travel to Liverpool to agree personal terms and have a medical. Any suggestion of him being loaned out has already been ruled out. Now, Liverpool begin their title defence live on Sky Sports against Bournemouth on Friday night, and Arne has told us that his side need to be even more ruthless this season. And he's pointed to some statistics. 9 of their Premier League wins last season were by a single goal. Maybe one of the reasons then why he's added Hugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz to their attack.
The downside to that was also that although we
I think we've created the most chances in the league, scored the most goals in the league. But we mostly won games by 1 goal difference. So we had to keep that clean sheet to have a chance of winning a game. With adding Florian, especially in certain games, we hope and expect we will create more from the ball possession we have, and adding 2 fullbacks that can just keep on underlapping for 90 minutes. And the number 9 that is a big threat on runs in behind. This should all add to us hopefully creating even more than we did last season without losing our stability at the back.
Do you see Hugo Ekitike just as a 9? Because, I mean, it's pretty obvious you're still looking at another number 9 in Alexander Isak. So is that Ekitike's role? You just see him sort of through the middle?
I see Hugo mainly as a number 9 that could also play from the left or play together with another number 9, because it's clear that with Darwin gone and Luis Diaz gone, and even last season we had 5 or 6 options, I think. Again, Diogo, I need to mention him as well. That we need to have 1 more attacker at least.
So, can Liverpool do what Manchester City did and successfully defend the title?
The reason why that is so difficult lays mainly in the fact that there are so many competitors that can also win the league over here. So to win it once is already very special, let alone if you can win it twice in 3, 4, 5 years, or as we did twice in 5 years, and City did even better than us in the last few years. So that's unbelievable if you're able to do this in this league. And probably this year it's going to be harder than every year before, because every team brings in new players, but our main competitors definitely did as well. This season the challenge is that we've lost many starters, and we try to bring in, we've brought in very good and talented players again as well. And the challenge is always not only yourself but also the teams you face. Now we're starting with Bournemouth, which was last season probably the most intense team in the league. And I mean in terms of running, and also in the playing style, but that goes hand in hand. And then afterwards is Newcastle and Arsenal, so that sums up this league, I think, and the challenge we have.